So today, we're diving into Kristina Morgan's incredible memoir, Mind Without a Home. This is just such a raw and poetic look inside a life with schizophrenia. We're going to follow her journey from the depths of crisis to a diagnosis and through the really complicated worlds of her family and the institution she lived in, all through her own powerful words.
The book just throws you right in with this line. Wow, this is it. This is the moment everything changes. She's 29, she's got 11 years of sobriety under her belt, and then suddenly, this. Right from the get-go, you are right there with her in that moment.
And that experience kicks off in September of 1993, with her mind in absolute, total crisis. The prologue doesn't ease you in. It throws you headfirst into the beginning of a terrifying and completely disorienting psychotic break.
And this is what makes her account so powerful. It's not some dry clinical report, it's pure poetry. Think about that image. A gaggle of hurt geese that can't find their way home. It gives you this incredibly vivid gut punch of a feeling for the chaos she was experiencing.
And it wasn't just voices she was hearing. No, this was something she was seeing, something that was totally taking over her world. She talks about seeing these mysterious men in black suits all the time, at home, in the grocery store. Can you imagine the sheer terror of your own reality turning against you like that?
And if you want to understand just how desperate things got, just look at this number, 7. 7 suicide attempts in only 3 months. That's not just a statistic on a screen, right? That is a testament to the absolute depth of her pain and how badly she wanted to escape the torment happening inside her own mind.
You can just feel the exhaustion in these words, the repeated trauma. And what's so heartbreaking about this is her awareness. You can feel it. She knows she's become a burden, that the very people who keep saving her life are just getting tired.
And this is the turning point. This is where her private struggle suddenly becomes very public and institutional. After she harms herself in her therapist's office, the police are called and she's involuntarily committed.
This short little poem, it just captures everything about how trapped she felt. The sharp edge of the earth. Wow. What a powerful way to describe being pushed to the absolute limit of your existence, to a place where it feels like there's no escape.
So after hearing all of that, this raw, personal story, you have to ask, right? What was actually happening to her? We've seen it through her eyes, but what was going on from a clinical standpoint? What even is schizophrenia?
Okay, so to really get what she was going through, we need to zoom out a little and look at the clinical side of things. And her memoir actually helps us do that, giving us a section that defines the very illness she was up against. So here's the official definition, basically from the textbook. This puts the clinical labels on everything we just saw her describe so poetically, the hallucinations, the disorganized behavior, and how it just completely impacts your ability to function in the world.
But schizophrenia is so much more than just hallucinations. It's a whole constellation of symptoms that can affect literally every part of your life. Your emotions, your sleep, even your very sense of who you are. Things like depersonalization, where you feel detached from your own body, or derealization, where the world itself just doesn't feel real anymore.
And this number, well, this really brings home just how high the stakes are. This connects right back to those 7 overdoses we heard about in the prologue. It's a stark reminder that this is a life-threatening illness, and Kristina's fight to survive was absolutely, terrifyingly real.
Okay, so we have the diagnosis. But to really get her story, we have to go deeper, back into her personal history. The memoir takes a deep dive into her family and this profound feeling she's had her whole life of being an outsider. The book uses these incredible images to set the mood for each chapter. Just look at this one, for family. You see these birds scattering. It just perfectly captures that feeling of being dispersed, of searching for a place where you belong. This is so telling. It shows you how she felt her struggle was ranked inside her own family. Her sister's issues were seen as acceptable or life-altering, but hers was just tolerable. That word, it's just so heavy, isn't it? It's like you're being put up with, not understood. It just reinforces that feeling of being alone. And this quote just hits me. It's so complex, so painful. It's this idea that you can be loved, you can know you're loved, but that love doesn't quite bridge this massive gap of understanding. She was in the family, but at the same time felt fundamentally separate. And that feeling of being an outsider, it didn't just stay within her family. It followed her right into the very places that were supposed to help her.
Her story is also the story of what it's like inside the mental health system, a world she calls a revolving door. So for years, her life was this brutal, exhausting cycle. A severe psychotic episode would lead to hospitalization. They'd help her stabilize, get her on her feet, but then she'd be released. And sooner or later, the symptoms would creep back in, and boom, the whole process would start all over again.
And this quote, wow, it just puts you right there in that room with her. The contrast here is staggering, isn't it? You have the harsh, cold reality of being cuffed to a bed, and then this incredibly delicate, fleeting, poetic image of a butterfly. It shows you that her mind could find beauty even in the darkest places.
But here's something that's so important to remember. Her story isn't just about hardship. In fact, she goes out of her way to say that the staff, the people inside this very difficult system, were good people. She recognizes their kindness and patience, which adds this really important layer of humanity to the whole experience.
So after everything, after the crisis, the diagnosis, the revolving door of hospitals, she finds something completely unexpected. And this, for me, is the real heart of it all. The very illness that nearly destroyed her became her muse. As she says, this writing saves my life. It really leaves us with this provocative idea to chew on. How can the very thing that pushes you to the absolute brink also become the source of your salvation?